sports fans, we've only got, a couple of weeks before
2
football.
weeks.
We've only got a couple of days before fantasy drafts, and you've got a couple of minutes to grab yourself a cold beverage, sit your ass down on a comfortable chair, and tune in to the podcast on podcast night on the Money Sports podcast, coming to you live from the On the Money Sports Lounge movie complex area with the posters, as you can see in the background, where the On the Money Sports draft will be going down on August 31st. Live first round, perhaps, just to see what happens. Last
As
preseason
always.
game. Yep, last preseason game, and then it is cuts. You are absolutely right, Chris. First one to tune in to the pod tonight. How you doing, bro? Hope all is well. But that's right. We're going to see who stays, who goes. You've got injury news. We've got trades that just went through a couple of minutes before we went live. We've got news on some more suspensions and some lower tier wide receivers getting shipped out here and there because there are teams whose rosters are depleted. We're talking about cuts. There's some teams out there that are hoping that they have enough wide receivers to even be able to start the season to be able to run some of these wide receiver sets and some of these offenses. So
that is true.
A lot happening, Money. We're breaking down the South tonight. After our 2.5 hour episode last week, a fiery AFC, NFC North podcast with Mike.
Things got a little out of hand.
Things got a little bit out of hand, but we're painting the picture for the storylines for the season. That's what it's all about. The countdown is over. There's drafts going on this weekend. It's go time, man.
Got a little out of
Dynasty
hand.
draft.
I must apologize for my actions.
It happens every year.
Screw you! I apologize for absolutely, positively nothing. I will continue to be the voice of the voiceless. I will continue to do what I must. And in the fashion of catchphrases, hashtag do it again. That is the new phrase running wild in all of the group chats.
Yep. The new phrase you have coined. And we all know how your new phrases tend to come back to haunt you when everything is said and done.
Do it again. Because right now it's looking a little murky on their side of the ball.
Yeah, it is.
They just lost their starting left guard. The man we talked about last week's refusing to play without a new deal.
Trey Hendrickson on the block. Brian Robinson on the block. The Commanders are saying,
Mikey been trying to ship him out all summer long like he knew.
And just like the people in our league, it looks like the GMs around the league are not that interested. One team, however, who is interested, which throws an even crazier wrench into the situation, is none other than the Miami Dolphins. Because it turns out Devon Achane's injury is looking like it's going to sideline him for a couple of weeks for now.
Yeah.
You've got Jalen Wright. You've got Ollie Gordon, who was just drafted. And now you've got the potential to add another running back into a situation where Devon Achane is one of those names we're going to be talking about a lot next couple of weeks because Devon Achane is a top pick. And even now, knowing what we know, technically is still a top pick, because how far down the board does he drop before you say, I can stash him for a couple of weeks and just draft around this situation, maneuver around this situation. There's going to be a lot of
people that do that. People who feel confident in their abilities, who have been to playoffs countless times, who have won more than one championship, are going to be willing to take that gamble.
The fantasy season's a grind, man.
You
can maneuver around a lot of shit.
You can always go to your little websites and see who's got the third best bench.
Yeah, or the sixth best bench. In some cases.
Or the ninth best bench in reality.
Oh.
2 injuries away from 5 and 9.
Let me share this real quick on here.
Yeah, I mean, how worried are you that it could blow up in your face, however?
Yeah.
The running back position is getting deeper. There's a lot more 2-man running back setups. I expect a 2-man running back in system in Denver. I think to a degree you're going to have it in Minnesota. I'm looking at Washington, where I know Bill Cromit, because he wants to be called Bill. He
Get his name right. His name is Bill Krosky Merritt, otherwise known as Jacory.
Cromit.
Go get him.
Austin Eckler is going to get his fair share too, but I think Bill's going to get a lot of touches. So there's a lot of teams out
Chris
there.
Rodriguez is going to get touches too because he looks good out there. So it's going to be a nice running attack that Washington Commanders, that offense, bro. I mean, I don't know who's out on them, but I'm in on what they've got going on.
We all know their front office is crazy in their head. They said, hey, Steelers, we'll give you him, but we want Pat Freiermuth and a second-round pick in return. They said Omar Khan immediately, like, no, we're not doing that.
It's worth a shot. They knew it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
They knew it wasn't going to work. It was like,
yeah.
Let's end this conversation right now. Watch this.
Call me in a week and we'll talk about maybe if you got a different offer. Because I don't think no team's going to try to give more than a third-round pick for him, especially if you can't get a deal worked out.
For Robinson?
For McLaurin.
McLaurin?
Because, they're saying they're not shopping him, but you're taking offers and you're sending offers. And then you got Robinson. So there's two players right there that could jettison. Then you got in Green Bay, Romeo Doubs is either going to get
Romeo Doubs. That came out of left field after they were saying he was one of the primary targets in training camp. Now he's going to get cut. How does that that means? I mean, a lot. You are thinking very highly of Matthew Golden, and then what? Was Wick still there?
Yeah, he's hurt right now.
Because we canceled out Christian Watson, right? We took him off the board. Jaden Reed is there, but I think a lot of us are still a bit sour on his 0.0 in the playoffs, right? But he's still there. He is a person, and he has moments where he can go out there and he can ball. But the Dobbs cut was something that caught me out of left field. But the news, there's a lot of tough decisions.
There's a lot that's going, and you still got the whole Tyreek Hill situation that needs to be played out.
Yeah.
I think what it is.
And they're in the market for another running back. They're dealing with the A-chain situation on top of the Tyreek Hill situation out there.
Here are Mikey just sent me a real quick thing about all the trades. You got Chiefs trading Sky Moore in a 7 to the 49ers for a 6.
That just happened.
The Broncos traded Devon Valley to the Saints for a 4th and a 7th. The Vikings traded defensive tackle Harrison Phillips in a 7 to the Jets for 2-6. And the Browns also traded defensive tackle Jawan Briggs in a 7 to the Jets for a 6.
Jets busy. Which makes me wonder as far as Williams and that injury, because there's a lot of hush-hush, but everything is about to come to the light soon because you're making your cuts. You're officially putting certain players on IR that aren't going to be able to or eligible to perform in the first couple of weeks of the season. You're going to have to show your cards. This is, if this was poker, we'd be playing daytime baseball. Cards up, and we're going to see what everybody has, and now it's time to really play. There's only so much information you can withhold. Giants, Vikings, think about it. We're talking about premier players. We're talking about Jay Jetta. We're talking about Malik Neighbors, Devon A-Chain. These aren't no schmucks.
I was reading that Jetta should be ready for week 1.
Right. Hope the rest of the Vikings are ready too. We already talked, when we broke down the North last week, I gave you my thoughts as far as the Vikings and what I feel with that team. With
the Raiders have reportedly
McCarthy.
Discussed the trade with the Bengals for Trey Hendrickson.
Raiders Bengals trade.
That would be a nasty bookend if that happened.
Ooh.
Crosby and Hendrickson together.
But then they have to pay. But they'll do it. They'll pay him.
Yes, they will.
They'll pay him.
Yes, they will.
Now, how do you think this will, if at all, affect Parsons? You think Dallas tags Parsons? Do they pay Parsons?
Well, I sent you what was the rumor offered. The Packers have offered, supposedly the Packers offered 2 firsts, a second, a player, and a pick for the following draft for Micah Parsons. And Dallas said no. Why they would say no, I don't understand that. That's a hell of a deal.
It's not a bad deal.
That's in Dallas's favor.
Like I said, we don't want to trade with Green Bay. Remember in
it's that, or maybe they think the picks they're going to get back are going to be too high up in the draft. Maybe they're looking for a bottom feeder team that they know will suck and
draft better,
they can pick in the top whatever.
Packers, I mean, yeah, that could end up being a pick in the 20s. The latest I saw on his situation, according to Adam Schefter from Brian Schottenheimer on Minka Parsons' availability September 4th, with or without a contract extension. I quote, Schottenheimer says, I feel good that Minka will be out there against the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, I feel good that Minka will be out there against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys saying that. It's not Jerry Jones saying that. It's not, it's Schottenheimer coming out and, putting that out there according to Shefty today. So he expects for Minka Parsons to be on the field. I'm only bringing up his name because he is the younger version of a guy in Hendrickson who is right now at 30 years old trying to get paid, potentially get traded, then paid. No matter what, Hendrickson gets paid or he sits out. That's where we're at right now with this Cincinnati standoff, we'll call it at this point. And they're kind of in a situation where it's like Washington. It's like, do we want to pay a 30-year-old player? And then, like they were saying on the radio on the way here, in 2 years, we're just sitting on an ugly contract with a guy that's not,
I see the Bengals' point of view. I do.
It's not like they aren't.
I don't want to rip them for that because I do see their point of view. He's 31 years old.
They'll get crucified for giving him the
money.
If
they give him a guaranteed deal for 3 years, that's 32, 33, 34.
Oh, you paid an over-the-hill defensive piece.
I get it.
Can't win.
I 100% get it. But I also know your defense is atrocious. Jaden Daniels in offense was doing whatever the hell they wanted to in that first quarter. Christian Rodriguez was ripping runs.
He looked good.
That run defense couldn't stop anybody.
That made them look at their situation and be like, get B-Rob out of here. Like, we got these young dogs in here.
It's so bad they told him go home.
I'll practice.
Like something had to happen, bro. But the players also look clueless as to what happened.
He's not
like
that
no
guy,
one's
bro.
speaking up.
He's not that guy.
He's not the splat. He's not that. He's adequate.
Wherever he goes, he's going to go somewhere where they're already sharing the rock to begin with. He's going to go and make another situation murky. That's what he's going to do. He's already in a murky situation right now.
Look at that. Emeka Egbuka will open the season as wide receiver 2.
Man, it's looking like it's going to be Egbuka season. And it's also looking like it's Mike Evans season it's gotten to a point where this kid's so good that people aren't even stressed about when Chris Godwin is going to come back. And we're going to talk about them tonight because we're breaking down the NFC South, AFC South. When it comes to these Bucks and when it comes to Egbuka and what he's been able to do and how he's been able to shred all these other defenses and these joint practices, that kid's going to go out there and he is going to put up numbers. There's a lot to be excited about when it comes to him. And when it comes to reaches on the board, Egbuka is going to be one of those names that you see get reached for a lot because I feel like at this point in time, people believe in him. They believe in the talent. We believe in Mayfield.
His ADP right now in ESPN PPR League is 97.
It's going up now.
Yeah, it's going to be like the guy said on the radio on the satellite on lunch break today. That's going to be in the 40s soon.
Yeah,
it might even be. He goes. He's not going to get picked before Mike Evans, but he's getting.
Won't, but he might because we draft with some maniacs in certain situations, so he might. But I'm talking about you could see him getting taken in that 3-4 turn, and nobody's going to bat an eye and it's going to be one of those things where other people are going to be pissed because they thought that he was going to fall to them. But you don't have to be afraid to go draft.
Top Steeler insider Jeff Hathorn on the Steelers bringing Gabe Davis to Pittsburgh for a second visit. The Steelers made him an offer he could refuse. So what does that mean? Like, why'd you bring him back? Like, if you weren't going to be serious about it. I also think he was using the team too, so he could go back to Buffalo.
I'd like that. I picked him up just in case. I got him stashed on the bench because I see he's got all these interviews and he's getting taken out to these steak dinners, going to Outback Steakhouse, talking to the GM, talking to the coach, getting a feel for everything that's going on. So, if you guys were to sign him, he automatically becomes wide receiver 2 on that team. If he goes to the Bills, you're going to be wide receiver 2 on that team behind Keon Coleman because nobody else is healthy. So wherever Gabe Davis actually goes, he can be that deep route. I'm not saying I believe that this guy's going to be a league winner, but it's one of those things where before these teams are making these cuts and everything, we'll get more light on the situation next week once this last preseason game is done. Like, Gabe Davis is one of those guys that can make the cut on a roster.
You're right.
Gabe Davis is one of those guys that you're going to see in those 3 wide receiver sets. Gabe Davis could be one of those guys that the 49ers are looking at, who right now they're dealing with a situation where behind Pearsall and Jennings, they don't really know who they're going to throw out there for their 3rd wide receiver. You saw they just got more.
Falcons offensive tackle Storm Norton underwent ankle surgery and is out 6 to 8 weeks.
Oof.
And today, offensive tackle Caleb McGarry was carted off with a leg injury that necessitated an MRI.
Yeah.
That's 2 tackles on a team.
And B-Rob got sent home from practice.
Bijan?
B-Rob. Oh, don't get him confused. We're drafting in a week or so. You got to make sure that you're looking at that sticker when you put that name up. Because we're talking about a guy that's potentially going 1st overall.
I'm going to be real.
And a guy that
if that was me,
get a carry.
If that was me, I'd give him shit, make him sweat a little bit, and then I'd been like, all right, peel the name off. I know what you meant. You were excited. It's the first day. Everybody's back. You're caught up in the festivities.
Yeah, you're jollies.
You know, you're excited. You're like, you haven't seen the guys probably in months.
Gotta be locked in, buddy.
Couple beers in, couple shots, little Jack Daniels here, little Jim Beam there. And I get it. But I would have gave you shit, and I promise you, I'd give you shit in the group chat all year long until the end of the season.
They made a video that's going viral right now, so just don't be that guy that is drafting B-Rob number 1 or number 2 overall, because some of your league mates might not be as forgiving.
Tyson Badgett getting it's not much, but for backup money, it's not bad. And
I like it for them.
I have gone out and said Tyson looked good this past week when I was watching him.
He can sling the ball.
He looked really...
He's been throwing to DJ Moore for 2 years now.
He looked really comfortable in Ben Johnson's system. However, Caleb looked way better this past weekend.
He did.
Than all of preseason. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, there's a Zacchaeus sighting out there.
Yes, we did.
You know, you got to feel good if you're looking at what that offense was able to do, and you're hoping to see more of that, because you know, those seats are pretty hot in Chicago. You know, Chicago. This is their reset right here. This is their redo. This is their mulligan. And if they don't get this quarterback right, then they're going to find people who are capable of finding the right quarterback. You know, you got to remember the haul that they got with trading out of the pick that they had, the fleecing of the Carolina Panthers to only be where we are right now and to have nothing to show for it with a second-year quarterback that can't develop an offense with 3 primary wide receivers, 2 tight ends. That's going to be another thing that's going to be interesting to see, too, is like, how's this distribution going to go with this offense? You got Colston Loveland out there. You only got 1 football, 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. You know? Yeah, hey, I'm trying to conduct business. All right, I'm trying to do a podcast. Let Oscar speak and pick up your phone. Did you send me anything worth picking up my phone for? Because I'll keep mowing on if there's no, you know. In other words,
it's not worth it.
You're not gonna rush me to look at my phone to go look at a shit deal that I'm just gonna cancel within 5 seconds. It has to be worth my while for me to pick up my phone and look at it.
Get my jollies going.
You gotta at least be offering me somebody that I actually want. We'll start there. But yeah.
This guy, he thinks every deal he does is like, stop what you're doing.
I don't think he actually sent me a deal. I really don't.
Chris Rock, I need 5.
I might have a different package ready for you. This guy's wheeling and dealing.
Oh, he has no choice.
I didn't offer anything.
He's one injury away.
He's
one injury away from being the worst team in the league and giving up the number 1 pick in the draft. To you.
I have his pick.
That's Archie Manning, probably.
I don't even have the.
You can sit there and draft Archie Manning when you don't even need him.
What's the word I use? I use it for work a lot. Incentive. I don't have the incentive right now to want to even deal with him, knowing that his first round pick is getting more and more valuable by the second. And that injury you're talking about is basically Devon A-Chain right now.
Chase or A-Chain?
Jamar Chase. I'm interested in Jamar Chase, but
then what receivers does he have left?
I don't know. Good question. You only got 2 wide receivers, so if you're putting Chase out there, I don't know what you're expecting on this end, but we could figure something out. Still, the night is young. We haven't even gotten into the meat and potatoes of our pod tonight, breaking down the South, breaking down my beloved Tennessee Titans. There's a lot going on.
A lot has
going
going on.
It's going to be like that next week too, because of all the things leading up to making those final cuts, final preseason game. Who's going to be getting the reps?
Surprise names getting cut.
Like, how's the Miami Dolphins backfield going to operate for this last preseason game?
What undrafted rookie made the team that's going to have a big impact on their team this year?
Afton Chisholm. Does Xavier Restrepo make the cut out in Tennessee? Right now, he's looking like the 5th or 6th, wide receiver on the depth chart.
I picked him up and put him on my taxi
crazy
squad.
Out there. Like, the fact that this kid, he can't beat out Van Jefferson after that drop pass that Van Jefferson had. Van Jefferson's still going to be the 2. We're still trotting him out there with the 1s.
It looks like it.
You can't be serious. The kid put it right in his hands, and he couldn't do anything with it. I say you just let these other kids, you let DK and Ayo Manor and Restrepo just cut loose out there. What do you got to lose?
Chick's wide receiver too.
Chig? Yeah, technically. By default, yeah, he absolutely is.
The Royals win 2 games out of wild card. That's it's big because
wild card race
the Philadelphia Phillies did a big favor for all American League teams that are trying to vie for a wild card spot. They just swept the second wild card in the Mariners. And the Mariners are a very good ball club in my eyes.
They have their days. They can be shit. They went all in on that lineup that they put together right there by bringing in Eugenio Suarez, bringing in Josh Naylor. Like, that was their power move because they literally lost the division again to the Astros, and now it's like they're fighting for their life because again the seats got to be hot out there. With
then you
Seattle
got this guy freaking throwing his bat at pitchers in the minor. Like, it's the minor leagues. What are we doing?
What are you talking about?
This guy got suspended 10 games for them. Robinson, I think it is.
Robinson.
For the Mariners, yeah. You didn't hear
Robles.
There you go, Robles.
Victor Robles. Wasn't that like a rehab assignment?
It was a rehab assignment.
And he's freaking out?
And he freaked out, and he threw a bat at the pitcher.
You know what he was rehabbing with. That juice, bro. That juice gets you bad, bro. He starts amping.
And the Royals, big news for the Royals, Reagan's might be back by the end of this month.
Yeah, they could have their complete pitching staff for the,
and Reagan's
final lap.
At one point, I was going to cut Reagan's on my fantasy team because I'm like, rotator cuff, this guy's going to miss the year. But then I start reading encouraging reports. I was like, all right, he's staying.
Oof. Let's take a look at my fantasy team. My season might be cooked, buddy. It's ugly. Massive slump that team took. I was not as active as I should have been.
I was pissed because I trotted out Aaron Nola
really hit
Sunday.
Him 5 consecutive games in a row. Oh, I would have been pissed too. I didn't realize that. He got hit 5 days straight. After a while, I'd probably throw my bat too. Like, what are you guys doing? And then you're in a rehab.
Twice by the same pitcher on separate days.
He hurt himself when he jumped into the netting for that ball. I think that he's been on IL since then. If that's what I'm thinking about.
Speaking of which, I got a new phone and I didn't like
the Yahoo app.
Yeah,
Sandlot is mine.
Mikey,
Matt.
Bro, knock it off.
This guy.
Everything's his. Everything's his. How about you go get fleeced again?
No, he needs to hit Tito. His lineup is. He needs to get some wide receivers.
Yo, he's gonna trade Chase. He needs to get a landfill back.
Yeah.
He needs to get like some serious hardware back. Not draft picks.
There's only a couple places that he can go to get something like that, and I'm one of them.
But
you're one of them. If you guys can figure out a deal. But that's on him to be able to know how to be, a good negotiating partner.
I already gave him Brian Thomas, and he actually won that deal.
He gave you Brian Thomas, Matthew. He gave you Brian Thomas.
He got his first round pick.
All right, so you want to get into it? Tonight's easy. Tonight's easy breezy right
Tonight's easy for the simple fact that, come on, man. Come on.
We went through the
we know who's winning these divisions.
We had 4 trades go down today. Anything goes down, anything happens, we're going to be on it. Maybe a trade that goes down live. Maybe a dynasty trade that goes down live. Who knows? Only if we had Bubich, we could have thrown Lorenzen back in the pen to help because our bullpen is suspect because Noah is better than him. Bubic season ending, I believe, for Bubic, if I'm not mistaken. I know you guys ended up getting Jose Lex Luger Alvarado back. He won't be back for the playoffs. He's not going to be able to compete in the playoffs because of
I can't log in. What the hell? That's a problem for tomorrow.
Luckily, you got Duran, who's going to be your guy in the bullpen as long as, Romano doesn't screw it up.
I am sitting here when I see Duran coming to the game. I'm like, yo, we won.
Yeah, you're good.
Like, I have not had this confidence since Brad Lidge's year, the World Series here.
Yeah, Duran's going to
When Duran walks in, bro, he aired out Cal Riley to end last night's game with 3 straight fastballs at 102 miles an hour. All 3 pitches.
They didn't need him today because they beat Seattle 11-2.
Yeah, you know.
It was a home run derby today. You don't need to bring them out there in a non-closed situation if you haven't learned from the last time you did that when they were up.
Listen. I'm not going to fault him for that. It had been 5 games already that he hadn't pitched. He had to get some type of work in.
It could end all that. It could end just like that.
I know.
Romano would have been your ninth inning guy.
But at the end of the day, I'm mad. You're mad at what happened, but at the same time, you can't go 5-6 days without pitching, bro. You got to pitch.
Yeah.
That's how injuries happen.
Go ahead. We're pro Joe Burrow. At least half this podcast is.
Do it again.
We're pro Joe Burrow. This guy's going to be drafting Joe Burrow in leagues, so it don't even matter. His rosters will be headlined by Joey B. So no matter what, he knows what we all know. You're going to need that guy if you're trying to get to a fantasy championship. Hey, you're a Steelers fan already. All you need him for is fantasy.
That's it. I don't need him for anything else.
You just need, as long as the Steelers are okay, you just need to find yourself back in the playoff picture for fantasy football, which is one of the things that we're going to be discussing in the next couple of weeks, as well as the divisional breakdowns, I should say. And now that we're getting closer to draft day for a lot of us, and some of us are closer than others because some of us drew the first pick, like this guy, or maybe you're pick number 2, you're pick number 3, and you're asking yourself in your mind, it's like, who's that 101 guy, or who could be that 101 in disguise? And this year, the big headliners so far, from what I've been seeing in 1QB leagues and overall, it's been Jamar Chase, it's been Bijan Robinson. So my question out there to everybody who does fantasy football is, would you take, with the 101, would you take Bijan Robinson over Jamar Chase this year?
We've had this discussion.
Are you willing to go up to the draft board like the guy who picked up B-Rob and confidently stamp that name up there, except it will be Bijan Robinson? Just slam it on the draft board and start your year by taking the top running back who a lot of people feel will be the number 1 asset in fantasy football, Bijan Robinson, with an Atlanta Falcons offense, a Michael Penix going into his second year.
But we have the news about the 2 tackles getting hurt.
Yeah, and that
can hurt.
That's more recent news. So now it's one of those things where how is that going to impact the projection from here to this weekend? Because that's all the time we have. It's Wednesday. And we already have a draft Saturday. We have draft Sunday.
You're wrong, bro.
What? Oh, Matt?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You put him on the block. I'm drafting Phillip Rivers, baby. RJ, what's up, bro? My friend, I hope all is well. I hope the family is well. Good to hear from you. Football's around the corner. I know you're excited. Would you draft Bijan Robinson over Jamar Chase? Or
PPR leagues?
Is Chase?
It's tough, man, because I don't think you could go wrong with either one.
I don't think so.
And this is talking from a guy who traded Bijan Robinson away in Dynasty the past year.
Valuable player.
I got, 2 firsts, a third, I think it was, and I got Drake May in the deal.
You did. You got picks. You got
and I gave up Robinson and Mark Andrews, an aging tight end that I didn't need because I still have Sam Laporta. I have Isaiah Likely. Oh, and not to mention I drafted with one of those picks, Colston Loveland.
Oh, you're good at tight end. You're probably the second best off at tight end besides myself, and then Nick has Kittle, and then everybody else has the tight ends that don't matter.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of just useless.
I think Isaiah Likely's going to be tight end 1 starting next year. I don't think Andrews is coming back after this year.
We are the tight end market in that league. I'm still taking Chase over Bijan. Bengals going to be in a lot of shootouts per usual.
With that defense, they will.
And I love it. That's more
Yes.
Chase Brown. That's more Jamar Chase. More T. Higgins. More touchdown passes.
Dare I
want
say
it all.
And here's the thing. If any of those receivers gets hurt, it wouldn't hurt someone to draft Ishovis late in the draft.
Yoshibas and then the other kid that scored those 2 touchdowns in their last game.
Yeah, like it's not a bad
They
idea.
They know how to find receivers. That's one thing they can identify well. They can find the right receivers, and they can, they're gonna get you out there, and you're gonna get an opportunity.
Real quick, though, I know I should be doing this now.
Yoshibas was somebody I had my eye on last year. I drafted him in sick picks, and I ended up dropping him because I needed
Lord
the
of the
roster spot.
Rings. What?
Are you looking at Matt's roster
Go back
right now?
to yes, I am.
We're doing a live grading of Matthew's roster.
Right now,
here.
his starting lineup's got Cam Ward in it.
Yeah, because that's his best quarterback option. Right?
Devin Achane, James Conner, Jamar Chase, Brian Thomas, Jake Ferguson, Kenny Walker, which Kenny Walker is not, from what I've been reading. They're going to be splitting time big time out there.
I think he's still going to eat, though.
Dave Montgomery.
Zach Charbonnet is going to be a good pick to make in those mid rounds.
And here's his bench. Anthony Richardson, who's just been benched.
Just got benched for DJ.
Justin Fields, who came out on the radio today and said, I don't need to throw it deep. I could just keep throwing 8-yard outs all day long and run the ball. And I'm cool with that as long as we win. That's not what you want to hear as a fantasy guy.
Maybe it is.
Matt Stafford, who finally practiced yesterday.
Yeah, he's out there. He's back. He's back out there.
Ty Johnson. What's he, like the 3rd running back on the team? Because it's Ray
4th.
Davis.
4th.
Oof.
Not Ray Davis. It's Ty Johnson. It's Braylon Allen.
DeMarcado is not even the backup.
Oh, no, Ty Johnson's with Buffalo. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It is. You're right. Ray Davis. Yeah.
2% start him.
Yeah.
Amari DeMarcado, Jerome Ford, Rico Dowdle. I don't know why Rico Dowdle is not starting. Oh, that's right, because Chuba Hubbard's RB1. Nick Chubb, you might be able to start him for the first couple weeks. Devin Singletary, Xavier Legette, Tutu. Oh, God. Oh, man.
You see why I still have that first round pick? Tito.
Kenny Pickett, Shador Sanders, Will Howard. All in your dude, you don't need that many quarterbacks.
Jamar is still a lock to be 1K plus double-digit touchdowns. Bijan will be good, but we don't know how that offense looks. He might be a Saquon situation where he finds his real value at his next team.
I agree.
Interesting.
Because I also think when they get inside the 20-yard line, like I was one of my things on here talking about the Falcons. We might as well talk about the Falcons in the South right now while we're doing this.
Do it. NFC South.
Inside the 20-yard line, they're going to piss us off, and they're going to send Algier in.
He can run, bro. He runs violently.
Algier had a very good year his rookie year.
He runs downhill.
I'm not saying Algier was like, oh, crap, but Algier had a good season as a rookie before they drafted Robinson, which is why I didn't understand why they drafted Robinson when you had a guy already who's a big body. Matter of fact,
Algier has all the characteristics of what a Titan.
This man only got 3 picks in the draft this year too.
He's got nothing. He's got nothing but a starting lineup. And he's coming to one of the richer teams in the league, myself, because he needs to salvage his season. He probably wants his first round pick back, and it's going to cost him. And I don't know if he can afford to pay that price.
All right, his rookie season was 2022.
I had the 3rd pick in a 14-person league. Oof, what are you going to do? 3rd pick. You're on the clock. Who do you go?
Here we go.
Chase is going to be off the board.
Here's Algier's stats. His rookie year was 2022. In 210 attempts, he had 1,035 yards, 3 touchdowns, on almost a 5 yards a carry average.
5 yards per carry.
So then they go and draft Bijan.
For no reason.
Which they didn't need to. At number 8, you needed linemen.
They moved up to do that.
You needed defensive players. What were you thinking?
Let's make a splash.
So then in the limited carries that he had the next 2 years, then the next year he had 683, 4 touchdowns, and this past season, 644 and 3 touchdowns.
Saquon with the 3rd pick.
They didn't need to draft him. So guess what this tells me? I still think inside the 20-yard line, Raheem Morris is going to send in Tyler Algier.
Just
Or if he gets to the 2-yard line, he's going to vulture. You're going to have Bijan do all this work. That's one of the reasons, This is one of the reasons why I traded him in the offseason.
Tyler Algier, maybe top 3 vulture this year.
Yeah.
Tyler Algier. And we're not going to see it coming, and he's going to be on waiver wires in a lot of leagues, just sitting there. Tyler Algier, vulture. We'll write that one down, and we'll bookmark it. It's possible that they both get a lot of burn because we're hearing Atlanta wants to run, you know? And it seems like Penix is okay with that type of style of offense, just to be able to manage the offense. He kind of gives the vibe.
Sorry, but
inside the 20, I'm still putting in Mike Toware.
That's a name you don't hear often.
Bijan with the 3rd overall pick is very interesting. It is a 14-man league, though, so you're going to be waiting a while to draft again. But you're going to have a nice little turn come your way when 1 and 2 get their back-to-back picks, and you're right back on the board. That waiting period sitting at the one side of the board is you're watching all those big names just go off, and your queue is just getting ripped apart. You're just crossing your names off and just hoping that next name is still going to be there for you. It's easy for us to sit here and say who we draft in that round, but live during the draft, when you see the names flying off the board, shit changes very, very fast.
I'll leave it right there for the guys to comment in the section.
So that's your main. That's a major red flag for why you wouldn't take Bijan over Jamar Chase. The fact that Tyler Algier could potentially be a bigger harm.
It's like RJ said. You're getting about 1,500 yards with Chase and about 12 touchdowns. And the best part is, here's the best part, guys. If you play in leagues with bonus points, about 6 of those touchdowns by Chase are going to be like 50-yard plus touchdownes.
And we know what this,
because we all know he can take a 5-yard slant, dodge it, and he's done. He's out.
He takes that slant further than anybody I've seen.
I've seen him do it
so
often.
Woo! I love it.
Last year, he had 2 games in our league where he almost had 100 points.
He is a specialist at certain things.
Because of bonuses. So if you play in a league where bonuses are premium, he's the guy to pick.
And we're talking the 50-yard plus touchdown bonus, which Chase is getting 63-yarders in his sleep. He's going to get plenty more of those. And T. Higgins can have a great year, and it won't affect Chase at all. Like, they have an offense where both of these wide receivers can coexist, and T. Higgins can break for 1,000 receiving yards and get potentially double-digit touchdowns, or maybe even if T gets 8 or 9 touchdowns, you're happy with that, knowing his position and his role, and it's not going to affect what you're going to be able to get from Jamar Chase. In a PPR league, Bijan will still have a first-round value because he will have – Bijan is Bijan Robinson. For a lot of people this year who are doing their homework on drafting, it's draft season, it's mock season, so you're following the board, you're following your favorite channels. Everyone's telling you Bijan is going to be the first running back that comes off the board for 2025 redrafts. The only other name that is in the same air with Bijan Robinson right now as far as running backs goes is none other than that guy, Jahmyr Gibbs, who, interestingly enough, as the second running back off the board, is also sharing the rock with a more than capable David Montgomery, who kind of fits the build of a Tyler Algier. Bigger back, going for the contact. Like, Montgomery is still going to be out there, putting up numbers, but it's not going to affect Jahmyr Gibbs' production.
I want to see. All right, so last year Chase has 1,700 yards. Do I expect him to get 17 again? Probably not, but I think he could get to 13, 14.
Serge, you're talking about Bijan going first overall in a few already? People are drafting already. So
he has 17 touchdowns last season. Do we think Chase is getting 17 touchdowns again this year?
I could see 15.
I could see, close. I could see between 13 and 15.
I don't know if he gets 17, but I could see 15. I'm willing to put that wager down. 15 plus tutties for Jamar Chase in that offense, and a lot of shootouts.
I wish I had game-by-game stats, man, because I want to pull up. Maybe I can pull it up.
17 is crazy, though. He was eating last year.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Barkley went before Gibbs in a few. Okay, that's interesting. And that's another thing. Barkley might end up being by default the running back 3. Once you see Bijan off the board, once you see Gibbs off the board, or in some cases you're not waiting, you're choosing Barkley over Gibbs. You're choosing his situation and, maybe the offensive line, the things like they're two premier offenses to be attached to. Me personally, I don't see Saquon Barkley getting 420 something carries again this year. I think that Hurts is going to he's going to have to throw a little bit more in that offense. So that's going to be interesting to see. But Barkley's put himself in a spot where I wouldn't be shocked if he goes before Gibbs.
All right. So Chase only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games of 100 yards plus last season. But hear me out. The first one was 118 yards against Washington, 193 yards against Baltimore. You ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
264 against Baltimore on that Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
177 against Dallas on that Monday, and 102 against Denver. He caught touchdowns in every game except the Denver game, the Tennessee game, the Vegas game, the Giants game, which I couldn't believe because that's all I needed to win $200. And I had to cash out and take the $75 before it went lower.
Yep.
And he didn't score touchdowns in the first 2 games of the season. So he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games without a touchdown in a 17-game season.
That was an automatic anytime touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah. Chase, then Bijan. It's a valid point to make because it's something that I've been thinking about. I don't have top picks in my leagues. I've got 9 picks and 11 picks. Like I'm drafting at the back end, but if I was drafting at the top, like I'd probably be asking myself.
I'm in a 2-quarterback league. I am the author of the 2-quarterback league and On the Money Sports. I have the number 1 pick, and my choices right now in a 2-quarterback league because I understand if I don't pick an elite quarterback at 1, I'm not getting an elite quarterback production of an Allen, a Hurts, a Jackson or Daniels. I'm not getting that production after those picks are done. So if I choose to forego it, and the only other person I'm willing to put my first round pick on is Jamar Chase if I don't go Josh Allen. And I'm right now, August 20th, 11 days away, am 95% sure I'm going Chase number 1 overall in a 2-quarterback league.
Jamar Chase, number 1 overall, On the Money Sports League draft, August 31st, 12:30ish. Put him on the board. Jamar Chase over Josh Allen.
That's where I'm at. Now, a lot can happen from now till 11 days from now, where I could wake up that morning and just say, let's take the safe bet. Let's take the guy who's going to give me 4,000 yards, 600 rushing yards, a total of 25 to 30 touchdown passes, and like 15. He's going to vulture a lot of James Cook's touchdowns and have maybe 10, 12 rushing touchdowns. So it's big. It's a choice in a 2-quarterback league with bonus points. So
see, everyone talks about having the first pick, but nobody talks about the stress of having the first pick and having to wait after you make that first pick.
Either way, it's a good pick, especially if they produce the way they produce.
I think the system changes for the Bengals. If they want to win, throw it to Chase. He's going to catch it.
It's tough because, like I said, I feel as though if I go Chase 1, I know I could get a Dak Prescott in the 5th or 6th round. I can get a Tua late as hell, a Matt Stafford late as hell, a Baker maybe in the 4th or 5th.
A Cam Ward late as hell. Daniel Jones, for those who think Daniel Jones is going to
Daniel Jones is a possibility because I think he's going to have a good season.
I don't know what that means for this. I don't know what that means for this football team.
I think you're going to get the 2022 Daniel Jones.
Or with
the one who took the Giants to the playoffs.
With who? With the Colts?
Yep.
With who? Who's out there?
Bro, he's got Jonathan Taylor. He's got the rookie Warren. He's got Michael Pittman, who I think is going to have a bounce back season.
They're going to run the ball.
I agree with Mikey. I think Josh Downs is going to have a big year.
Why do we think Daniel Jones is going to be good here? I don't understand. Why? Because he took Anthony Richardson's job? Beating out
I'm
Anthony
okay with Chase.
Richardson
Just know when it
is
gets
not
back
hard
to
to
me,
do.
I'm effing the draft all up.
That's what a lot of us plan to do. Yeah, beating Anthony Richardson out for the starting job. Anthony
It wasn't
Richardson
hard.
lost the job himself by saying he was too tired. It was done. There was just nobody in the room capable, and now you have a capable starting quarterback. That's what I can call Daniel Jones. But to think that he's going to be the reason why the Colts are all of a sudden going to be something. I've been down this path with a lot of people.
I'm not
when it comes
saying
to
the Colts are going to be like this enormous. I just think the AFC South overall is a weak division.
The weakest.
And I've seen Gardner Minshew
weakest.
almost win 10 games with them.
That's
I can see Daniel Jones going 10-7.
This is the weakest division in the league. So weak that I have 3 of the 4 teams in this division under 500. There's not going to be some glamorous renaissance in this division.
I do too.
There's 1 division winner and there's 3 losers this year. And if that division winner can't get it done this year, you're a fraud. And I don't want to hear shit about this team for the next 5 years until they figure out what to do with that offensive line. This year is their last year to actually be on top of this division. And I'm saying that because I don't believe that the other 3 teams are going to have their shit together in time to even make it competitive.
I concurrently agree with Chris.
I need Daniel Jones and Warren to connect. Jones has better protection in Indy and better hands to catch the ball. The rest is on him. There is a lot on him. I will give you that. And Tyler Warren is in on every single snap. If you look at what the Colts are doing, Tyler Warren is on that field all the time. So Tyler Warren could end up being the wide receiver 1 of this Colts offense, who is going to want to establish the run, and they're going to want to play defense. They're putting a lot of money on the defensive side of that football. They just got Xavier Howard via trade. They were looking into the Hendrickson situation, and they were also looking at another name that I'm forgetting about right now. It's not Parsons. It's somebody lower tier. Nonetheless, it's a defensive side of the ball. They want to be able to have a vicious front 7
Coach
that's
is on
going to
the hot
stop the
seat,
run.
bro.
Shit ain't sweet out there. And especially the fact that you can't win a very winnable division, bro. You can't get me to 9-10 wins. You've been around for how many years now? Steichen, the genius. You were this big offensive genius. Just to run an offense that's just going to want to run the football and
what
punt.
He did with Gardner Minshew was great, considering Gardner Minshew's really like limited. I'll never forget when he looked at him like, "Why'd you throw the ball?" And that if he just did that in that one game, the Steelers don't make the playoffs.
True.
I would have never been saying Mike Vrabel be my hero.
So what? You got the Colts. You got the Colts winning the division? Because I don't.
I have the Colts going 10-7.
I've got them going 8-9.
I have them winning the division. I think Daniel Jones is going to throw 3,800 yards, 25 touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns. I think he might have like 500 rushing. I think the read option with him and Jonathan Taylor is going to be similar to him and Barkley in that 2022 year. I think the offensive line is the best line he's ever played with. And I think him sitting with Minnesota last year and learning with Kevin O'Connell is going to do wonders for him.
They're projected for basically 9 wins this year. The Colts. 8.5 right now.
So 10 is
projected
doable.
For 9. 10 would be overachieving.
But it's doable.
They end the year with Jacksonville, Houston. So they can be in a situation where it's like, hey,
they control their fate for the division.
We control our own destiny.
That last game could be for the division.
For the division or for the Colts' livelihood, like depending on what the situation is. Now I have them at 8-9, but I have them in second in the division because I just think it's going to be really bad in the AFC South. So I have them at an 8-9. I don't think as highly of Daniel Jones coming into this year as you guys do, but I think that if they play fundamentally sound football, I believe in the defensive side of this football and the fact that if the offense can just punch it in when they need to, the Colts are going to win some football games. Not the division, though.
Can we get a Jones versus Ward bet this year?
You don't want to do that, bro. You don't want to do that. Not with Ward as his starting quarterback right now. He needs Ward. He needs Ward more than I do right now. But yeah, I don't know. I've got them ahead of Jacksonville though, because I've got Jacksonville at 7-10. I don't believe in this team. I don't think that they're going to figure it out. I think that they're complete frauds. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are total frauds.
I had Jacksonville finish in last place.
Last? What record?
5-12.
Worse than oh shit! I gave them one too many. But like I don't. What do you guys?
I don't
What are you
think
guys
they're
doing out
good
there?
at all.
I don't think you figured anything out. I don't think you figured anything out there. And now this is a new group.
I think Trevor Lawrence is overpaid. He's one of the reasons why these salaries keep going up, which is insane because I don't think he's worth $50 million a year.
The running back situation is even more
The running
murky.
backs is so murky. It's like, yo, what happened to Travis Etienne?
Tank Bixby looked like he won the job. Bashil Tootin is out there, and he's a great runner. Etienne has maybe more.
What happened?
As much interest as B-Rob does on the block. I don't know.
Like, that's crazy.
I don't know.
He had a couple of years of very good football.
You know what's crazy? I almost picked this team to win the South this year, but then I had to do a deep dive, and I had to really look. And I was just like, why am I picking them? I'm assuming their defense is going to be good.
I don't think Travis Hunter was the answer in the draft to move up to number 2. It should have been for Abdul Carter. If you were going to move up, it should have been for him. I don't think he was worthy of 2 pick. Yeah, I'm saying it. And you know what? If he has a good year and a good career, then I will say I'm sorry. However, I don't think that's what this team needed. He can still have a great career in the league, but I don't think this is what this team needed.
I don't think they did anything to
They did nothing
better.
At all better. And I think the coach is going to have a hard year. I think the coach is overmatched because I also want to go on a limb and say the coach got the job because Canales got his job because Canales coached the Bucs, helped. You know, everybody wants to give Canales, and then they want to give this new guy, Liam Cohen, right? They want to give him all the credit for Baker Mayfield's resurrection, but you're giving the 2 offensive coordinators, the 2 wrong coaches, the credit for Baker's resurrection. The person that you should be praising for the turnaround of Baker Mayfield's career is 1, Baker Mayfield, but 2 is the coach from the Rams. That's who the guy. Sean McVay. I had a brain fart. I couldn't think of his name at the same.
Hot tag.
It's McVay that helped resurrect that guy's career. And so everything he learned from McVay, he went down there to Tampa. And the best part about Tampa was he had a good line. He had Rashad White. And he had Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Kate Ottman, some studs.
Bucky.
Then he got Bucky this past season. And he got McMillan.
I love Bucky Irving.
And he even played even better. Now, what I will say is Canales had a rough first half of the year with the Panthers. But then once he benched Bryce and then brought him back, Bryce was a completely different quarterback, and the offense started flowing. This guy, I just don't see it. I think he's going to be a huge bust for this team. I do not think he's going to be a good coach in the NFL, and I can see him being fired in 3 years.
You give him that long? That's a long lifespan for a head coach. 3-year lifespan?
Unless it goes like this 5-12 season could do him in after a year if they think he's way over his head.
I just think the ESPN has them projected to win 7 games.
Nah.
But
if they win 7 games, that's a great year for them.
I'm looking at this team and just saying to myself, like where, where?
Wide receiver 2 is your rookie.
Well,
wide receiver 1 is your sophomore year.
Is a 2-way player, right? Because that's what Hunter is. That's what they spent the draft pick on. And then after that, your wide receiver 2 would be Parker Washington, Diami Brown, Austin Trammell. Brenton Strange had a moment last year.
Dallas
but do we
Cowboys,
believe in that?
I would be calling the Jaguars about Travis Etienne.
Etienne been playing with the first team all training camp. I just pray it shows in the regular season to trade him because I believe the talent is there on a better team. And the Cowboys are a better team. Their running back situation is
murky.
Uglier than Jacksonville. At least
Vaughn's
Jacksonville
already been on the rumor for being cut.
Dallas doesn't have a Tank Bixby or a Bashil too.
No,
they don't. Like they have Jaden Blue.
I saw Miles Sanders getting pummeled at the line of scrimmage.
And Javonte Williams ain't it. Miles Sanders ain't it. And Jaden Blue might not be it. But Jaden Blue right now is your best option, and Tank Bixby is a better option than him. Travis Etienne is at this point a better option than a Jaden Blue. In my humble opinion.
If I would call him, see if they would take a 5th or a 6th round pick for him, and make the move.
Like, why are you guys still not trying to get a running back out there? I don't understand. Like what?
But anyway, back to the Jags. I don't see more than 5 wins. Is it because it's a soft division? They think they're going to beat the Titans twice. They think they're going to beat the Texans once. They think they're going to beat the Colts twice.
Even on our worst day, they can't beat us twice. We'll dog walk them at some point, and it's going to cost them. They got Carolina week 1. I'm leaning towards Carolina already.
Bro, the Pittsburgh Steelers backups, second string unit, beat the shit out of their first string unit 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. You're basically just giving teams.
Mason Rudolph went down the field twice and scored touchdowns.
Teams in the division know how to play them. I don't think the Jaguars are scaring anybody at this point. I think that they are leaning on the excuse of new coach, new GM, new. Come on, guys. Like, we got to buy in. This is the buy-in year. Trevor Lawrence is our guy. We paid him already.
You're 100% correct.
We got buy in. You know, hey, we have a bad year.
There is nothing you're saying wrong there.
This is it. It's our year 1, guys. We'll be back. Can we get a deal for ATN? I don't know, but still. Look at what we have around here. Look at all these fancy toys we have. Like we got a Duval, scream that a couple times, show a little bit of this, just a little bit of grit, and get yourself to 6 wins maybe in the middle. Or you just go out there and just look like absolutely complete frauds. And it makes you look even worse because now you're sitting in the basement of the worst division in football.
Yeah.
Now it looks even worse for you. So I've got them at 3rd. I've got us in last place.
I don't see it.
I've got us in last place.
I got you guys in 3rd place. I got you at 6-11.
I got 6-11. Until we show.
I got Cam. Cam's going to struggle early on, but I also think he's going to settle. And as the season goes, he's going to get better and better. And I think to look forward to, I think Ridley and Spears could be fantasy darlings for this team.
A lot of sleepers. Us and the Panthers are probably the 2 sleepers of both divisions. What's going on, bro? But until this team shows me anything, I'm giving them 6-11. I got to see what this defense is looking like. Got to see what the kid looks like.
What up, Sher?
And I'm not going to sit here and be like, what's going on, Sher? I'm not going to sit here and say, like, okay, we're taking this out. I think the Houston Texans, I've got them at 10-6. I've got Houston taking the South this year because they're supposed to. You think so? What record you giving us, bro?
I got right now my division, the way I see it, I've got Colts 10-7. Texans 8-9, Titans 6-11, Jags 5-12.
I've got it Texans 10-6 because again that's what they're supposed to do. This is the battle for the 4 seed here because that's what whoever wins this division is the 4 seed. Number 2, I've got the Colts at 8-9. I've got the Jags at 7-10, and then I've got the Titans at 6-11 in last place until further notice. You got to show me something.
I don't know. I think the Jags are a worse team.
Jags worse than us?
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to be. I have a feeling what the Jags are going to be, and I don't believe in what the Colts are going to be, but
Texans,
I think that they're going to play good
Jags
defense.
like I did.
Texans,
Paul
Colts,
says
Titans,
Houston
Jags.
3-peat division champions.
They should. There's no reason not to. There's nobody in their way
It's
yet.
it's all about for Texans. Are we getting rookie year Stroud or are we getting last year's Stroud?
We're getting
They backpedaled their way. The only reason they won the South is because they were the best team out of a bunch of mid teams.
and they're still going to be the best team out of a bunch of mid teams, but that doesn't mean the Texans aren't mid because when you see the Texans play in the playoffs, you say to yourself, ugh, like they made it. Like this is
like, and I'm not gonna. People are gonna look at us and be like, "Oh, but the Texans beat the Chargers in the first round." The Chargers do that shit every year.
Themselves in the first round, guys. Come on, you know what the deal is with the Chargers. Everybody's gonna beat them.
Then look what happened the next week when they go play a real quality playoff team. Baltimore beat the piss out of them.
I'll say this: the Colts aren't winning the South. Daniel Jones is not going to lead this team to win the South. The Colts ain't doing it. They are going to be really good on one side of the football, and they are going to be slightly inept on the other side, which is the offensive side. I am not as excited about Jonathan Taylor. I got to be honest with you. With Anthony Richardson, I wasn't that excited. His situation out there just stinks. But I'm not looking at Jonathan Taylor now as like, oh, man, this is going to be great. With Daniel Jones, you are limited by Daniel Jones and whatever he can become during the season, which is you'll get a couple flashes. You're also going to get a lot of turnovers. You're going to get stupid picks. You're still going to get fumbles. Yes, this is a better offensive line, but it's the same quarterback behind a better offensive line, prone to making some of the same mistakes.
Listen, I'm not going to dispute you on that.
Like, there's nothing to me exciting about a Colts offense where I can look at this team and say to them, oh, yeah, they've got what it takes to win the South now. Daniel Jones was the secret to unlocking what this team could be because he beat out an Anthony Richardson who was a bust pick. He beat out a bust pick. The Colts need to come out and say it. The Colts need to come out after 2 years and just be like, look, we screwed up again, guys. We drafted the wrong guy, guys. You know, we screwed up.
I don't think the Colts coaching staff wanted to pick him. I think it was the late Jim Irsay who wanted him.
This team.
I think Jim Irsay was trying to make a splash, and maybe Jim Irsay knew something we didn't know about him being sick and just said, I'm going to, I think this guy is this. I got to go for it. I want to leave my team in good hands when I'm gone. And he wasn't the pick.
Because of his passing, I think this team is going to show fight this year because they have something to fight for. So I wasn't going to sit there and discredit them. I think 8-9 is a good place for this football team.
That's what they did last year.
They have it improved.
Last year the records were 10-7 Houston, 8-9 Colts, 4-13 Jags, and Titans 3-14. So how am I wrong in putting the Jags as one more win when the roster looks worse than it did last year? Where I think the Titans roster looks better than it did last year. 3 more wins is acceptable.
Yeah. There's some improvements there. I gotta see it. I can't sit here on this podcast. I got to do my due diligence on this podcast. There's been times where I've ranked us at the top of our division. There's times where I believe that in my heart. I do not believe we are going to be ready.
And Houston, I think, is going to struggle because I think Tank Dell's a huge important part of that offense.
They will struggle.
Tank Dell's a huge part of that offense, and Tank Dell may not, if he even has a chance of playing, it ain't going to be till December, January. And number 2, we don't know shit about Joe Mixon's situation.
Joe Mixon's going to make a backup plan for Joe Mixon because he may not be ready to go.
And you don't know what Nick Chubb you're getting.
You know what you're getting? A terrible offensive line. And Nick Chubb as the healthiest running back out of your group of running backs right now, and a Woody Marks, who we're not too sure what he could potentially be. And one of the worst offensive lines in the league who are not going to protect C.J. Stroud. So C.J. Stroud is going to potentially end up looking like last year's Stroud with, being on the ground. But luckily, he's in a division that is just not great. I'm not wishing anything. I'm happy about Cam Ward. I'm just being realistic about my team and where we're going to end up this year. We can't all predict our team to go to the Super Bowl every year. That's just bad booking.
That's fodder.
I'm being realistic about where my team is going to be. We have a rookie quarterback that's taken over the offense, taken over the system, and 6-11. And if we do anything more than 6-11, hey, good shit. Now let's see what we can do for year 2 because we don't even have a true wide receiver 2 yet. So, I'm not sitting here living in the past about my team. I'm ready for some Titans football. I'm excited about it. I'm excited for Cam Ward, but I also know that, hey, this is still the worst division in football. AFC South is the worst division in the league. So for the Texans to call themselves the champions of the worst division in football, congratulations. Can't wait to see you get eliminated on Nickelodeon Wildcard Weekend because that's what's going to happen with them. The Titans might not be ready to make the playoffs this year. The Texans are, but when the Titans get into the playoffs, we do more damage than the Texans ever could. So at the end of the day, enjoy your reign on top. It will be short-lived. And maybe next season when we're breaking down the AFC South, there could be more to talk about as far as this division just having a little bit more flair compared to some of the other divisions like the AFC West of the world and the AFC Norths with some of the bruising defenses and some of the high-octane offenses that can actually put up points. This year, I got to see it for myself, man. I got to see it for myself before I fully start, buying in like crazy. Like now, if we beat Denver week 1, I might jump on the hype train a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's like winning yourself a bonus ticket off the $2 you spent on the first ticket. It doesn't mean anything because the Houston Texans are setting themselves up as the 4 seed with a matchup with the best wildcard team on the AFC side. It's going to be a red-hot 5th seed, maybe who knows, a Baltimore Ravens, who knows right now. A Buffalo Bills Dolphins. We really don't know. We can't really project it. I just know that for a 10-6 football team to stumble themselves into a wild card and stumble themselves into a home game, Houston has to win this division. Bad offensive line, limited Stroud, hurt Tank Dell. They still got Nico Collins out there. Nico is still, that could be a top 10 wide receiver this year. I think Nico Collins is going to have a massive season this year, and Nico is gonna put himself up with those names.
But he's another one who tends to get hurt, miss 3 to 4 games a year.
Yeah, people are gonna get hurt on this team. When you can't protect your quarterback, people are gonna get hurt. Now, Houston's defense, that's a good defense on that side of the football. They're gonna play fundamentally sound defense. Their head coach is a defensive coordinator, so no matter what, he's gonna control that side of the ball. This year, literally, the ball is in Stroud's court. Unfortunately, they didn't do a good job of actually giving him an offensive line that he can use to be able to look and feel like a division champion all the time. They're not going to look and feel like division champions, but they're going to win the division because the rest of us are still going to be bad. Like that's really how I sum it up. 10-7 is the perfect record for this team because I don't see them winning 11, and I can see them at least winning more than 9.
So they opened the season up at LA.
Who, the Texans?
Yeah.
That's a loss.
Then they're home for Tampa Bay. At Jacksonville. Home for Tennessee at Baltimore. This team could be 2-3.
Can.
Going into the bye week.
And they might be. Then you get Seattle.
But then again, my pick to win too. The Colts, they start the year at home for Miami, home for Denver, on the road for Tennessee, on the road for the Rams, home for Vegas, home for Arizona, at the Chargers, home for Tennessee, at Pittsburgh, which I will be at that game, home for Atlanta and Berlin, and then the bye. We're going back to Houston. After the bye, they're at Seattle, home for San Francisco, home for Denver, home for Jacksonville, at Tennessee, home for Buffalo, at Indy, at Kansas City. Their end of the season isn't bad for them. They're home for Arizona, home for the Raiders, at the Chargers, home for the Colts.
Okay. I was about to say, that little middle part, if that's how their season ends, it'll be because of that little spot where they got to play like actual contenders, which they'll get exposed at that point in time. NFC South is much better.
In 10 games.
Atlanta already catching the injury bug. Saints got no QB. Carolina Kitty Cats need to grow, and Tampa Bay got age and weight problems. The NFC South is not much better.
Let's put up Sherm's stat.
The NFC South could potentially send 2 teams to the playoffs. I don't see the AFC South doing that. I think that with Atlanta, with Tampa, they can at least make the cut. Texans 12-5, Titans 10-7, Jaguars 9-8, Colts 5-12. I wouldn't be shocked at the Colts being 5-12. I think that Jacksonville and the Titans, I think that's maybe too many wins for this year.
I don't think I gave the Titans enough wins.
I don't think there's a universe where the Houston Texans go 12-5 in the modern era, where even in the weaker conference, which the AFC is the weaker conference, I don't see 12-5 for them.
Tennessee starts on the road in Denver. Then they're home for the Rams. Then they're home for the Colts. At Houston, at Arizona, at Vegas, home for New England, at Indy, home for the Chargers in a bye week. There's some winnable games there.
They're all winnable. It's just
then you're home for Houston, home for Seattle, home for Jacksonville to start after the bye. At Cleveland, and this is where it gets murky, these 2 games. At 49ers, home for Kansas City. However, they end the year home to New Orleans, which I think will be the worst team in the league, and at Jacksonville. I think the Saints, because I know we're going to talk about the South next, or we're going to talk about the NFC portion of the South. I think the worst team in football is going to be the New Orleans Saints at 3-14.
3-14? I got them at 5-12.
I think the Saints are going to be the worst team. I think the Saints are going to have the first pick in the draft next year.
Who's their quarterback going to be?
It doesn't matter. They're only going to get 3 wins.
What's his name?
Tyler Shaw.
Is it Radler? Is it Shaw? They just made a trade today for Vele. You got Vele, Rashid Shaheed. Chris Olave, if he's not hurt, if he's not in the tent, you got old Alvin Kamara. They got no money.
Number 1 pick, bro.
They're broke.
They're going to pick.
Negative.
You know who's going to be the first pick of the Saints draft? Is going to be the grandson of the guy they picked back in the 70s.
Manning?
Archie Manning. Because you also heard what Archie said the other day. Well, it said your grandfather said that you're going to stay in college another year. I never said that. He came out and said that, he debunked his grandfather yesterday and said, I never said that. I'm just taking it day by day.
So the Saints are the ones that are doing the tank for Manning here.
Yeah, listen, Sherm thinks
get that old feeling back. Is that what you guys are doing this
I'm
for?
sorry. I think they're a 3-14 team. There's nothing on this team I like outside of Alvin Kamara, and that is it.
I think they're going to be hot garbage too. Maybe I'll drop them to 4. You can be 4 and 13. I don't know where the 4 are, but it's the NFL.
I don't know where the 3 are, bro.
Every dog has his day in this league.
I think they're going to get I think they're going to get Tampa on one of those weeks where where Tampa's riding high, and we're going to be like, yo, the Bucks.
They've got Arizona.
And Baker's going to put out a shitty game, and we're just going to be like, what the hell happened?
We've got Arizona week 1 with the Saints. Do we think the Saints beat Arizona?
That could be one of those games.
They get one week 1, start 1-0.
We'll start going, maybe we were wrong
about these guys.
Then next week they get 34 to 7, and they're whooped like that.
There's nothing really to like about that team.
You've got,
the Panthers are young, but at least the Panthers have the promise. They have the look.
I got the Panthers going 8-9.
I got 7-10. Third place.
We're not that far off.
But I
think they got a good running back situation in Dowdle and Hubbard. It's a shame what happened to Brooks, but such is life in the National Football League.
He lost his spot.
I think Tatora McMillan is going to be a beast. I think he's going to be the guy.
They're going to lose extra games. 32.
I think Tet is going to be to Bryce what A.J. Brown was to Jalen Hurts. That's how good I think Tet's going to be. I think Xavier Legette's going to be even better this year, as long as he's not fighting DBs and getting thrown out of games. And your boy Coker, I think he's going to be a solid number 3 for them. I think, and I really think what I've seen from Bryce Young after this man got benched. Every time a quarterback that young seems to get benched, they go into a shell and they never, ever recuperate.
Yeah.
It's rare if they do. This guy got benched, had to sit through, watch Andy Dalton come in, put up a hell of a game where we were like, oh, shit. And then Dalton came back and did Andy Dalton-like things to the point that Canales said, I'm going to put Bryce back in. And we watched Bryce Young in the last, pretty much the last month of the season, put out performance after performance after performance. And we were like, oh, shit. He didn't just stay in the pocket all day. He eventually said, I'm out.
Him and Michael Penix.
He started using his feet. He started moving around. He started taking off for some runs. And in return, he started getting plays off. He almost beat the world champions. He was a drive away from beating. It was a touchdown drop by Legette. Let's put it out there. Legette dropped the game-winning touchdown against the Eagles.
Bryce and Michael Penix.
He went blow for blow.
Elite 8 championship last year.
He went blow for blow with the Eagles, and he almost beat them. He lost only because Legette dropped the touchdown. Let's just be real.
Atlanta has 2 O-line
And there was a lot of
injuries.
people that I know who had started Legette in fantasy that week that were cursing up a storm because
needed that touchdown.
Yeah.
Needed that. DFS, fantasy, anytime touchdowns, everything. And all of it. We needed all of it.
So I think 8-9 is very realistic for them. I think their defense is being slept on too. I think they have a solid defense. I really do.
I think they'll show signs of putting it together.
And it's crazy because I feel more better about the Carolina Panthers, who gave up everything to get to that first pick and pick Bryce Young, than I do with the team that got all those picks and haven't showed nothing yet.
You don't even have an offensive line. How do you not have an offensive line now?
Think about that.
Stroud and
the Bears
Bryce.
had everything. The Bears got everything they could want from that spot and have done nothing to get to improve upon that, to the point that Carolina, in my eyes, is a tad bit better than Chicago. I'm not saying they're pulling away, but I'm saying I think they're better.
Can you imagine the Panthers winning more games than the Bears?
And Bryce Young has looked good in the preseason. He hasn't looked it looks like it finally clicked, bro. And I think Tatora at 6'4" with the speed that he's got is just going to add another layer and another dimension. Again, we got to go back and look at Canales and give him his props. So I do think the Panthers are an 8-9 team that if the ball breaks one or two ways, could be a 10-win team fighting for a 7 seed.
Yeah, that's pretty spicy. So you got them in third place right now?
Yes.
I got them third also.
I'm pretty sure we got the same team in second place in the Atlanta Falcons.
I got the Bucs in second. I'm taking the Falcons to win the South by a game. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get spicy with it.
This is the second year in a row, bro.
I didn't take any chances.
You did this with Kirk Cousins last year, and I told you were wrong.
I didn't take any chances on the AFC South side. I'm going to get spicy on the NFC South side. Yes, they've lost a couple of offensive weapons, but I'm on the offensive line. But I'm buying in on this Falcons team. This is the last time, though. I will not do this again next year if they fail.
So if they go 9-8, 8-9 this year, this is it.
I'm out. I'm out on Atlanta.
Does that mean you trade away your Atlanta pieces, your Michael Penix pieces?
I already traded his ass. They can all go.
You did. You sent him to Alexi.
Yeah, they can all go.
Once Alexi got him, I was like, I'm getting Drake May away from this guy. You watch, and I did.
Yeah, you only need to roster so many quarterbacks in the 1 QB league. But I'm taking the Falcons to go 11-6. I'm taking the Bucs to go 10-7. I'm taking them to split this year in their head-to-head matchups. And I'm also taking both of those teams.
Sherm got the Panthers going 11-6.
I'm taking both.
Yes, I don't know about that.
I'm taking both the Falcons and the Bucs to make the playoffs, and maybe we get a third matchup between these two teams. In which case, if they meet up in the playoffs, my money's on Baker. I think the Bucs, but it's going to be a good. I think we finally get to see a good back and forth battle between these two teams as far as being able to take the South. And you know what I mean? Like, I think that this Falcons team is, I like their defense. Their defense was never bad just because,
the defense isn't bad.
You've got, top corners on that side of the football.
I won't argue with you on that. I think the defense is a solid defensive group. I think
they needed more help from the other side.
I think they're a top 15 team. I think they can stop the pass, but the run kind of hurts them.
I think Bijan has a great year. I think Drake London has himself a great year.
All right, so with all that said, does Kyle Pitts, the teardrop in your eye, does Kyle Pitts have a Kyle Pitts breakout finally?
Is this the year?
Or
is that why they win the division?
Is Kyle Pitts?
Is that all it takes? Is Kyle Pitts to turn on the switch and
who
this
knows?
Falcons team?
Or is Kyle Pitts just Kyle Pitts? He's just an average tight end that was picked too high.
Let's do a comparison. Let's see what we've been pulling out the schedule for everybody, so we might as well pull it out for these guys.
All right.
And just see what it's looking like for them.
Here we go. Atlanta starts the year at home against Tampa.
There we go.
Then they're on the road
from the jump.
They're on the road the next 2 games at Minnesota, at Carolina. You're already not high on Minnesota, so I get it.
In Minnesota. And
at Carolina is going to be a fight because it's going to be in Carolina. Then they're home. At home, they get a break because they get Washington at home. Then they go on a bye week. Oh, shit. Then
Washington beats them.
Then they're home for Buffalo. And then the following week, they're at San Francisco.
Miami. New England.
Then they're home for Miami, at New England, at Indy, home for Carolina, at the Saints, at the Jets, home for Seattle, at Tampa, at Arizona, home for the Rams, home for the New Orleans. Listen, the path for 11-6 is there. I will say it.
Manageable, bro. There's the
path for 11-6 is there.
In between those tough games, there's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of fluff, bro.
There's a lot of marshmallow
there's
fluff.
A lot of fluff.
I don't know if you guys ate that stuff as a kid, but yes,
you get to practice.
There's a lot of squish.
There's
a lot of squish.
It helps when you got New Orleans twice. That's also a nice little, to end the year against New Orleans is a nice one because now you're, if you're the Bucs, maybe you're rooting for the New Orleans Saints.
We never went over the Saints. I just want to do for shits and giggles real quick.
We already think they're going to be the worst. So
I just want to, so I can. Where the hell are they?
Yeah,
Man, they're
Their
so bad.
schedule wins me
My
over.
book doesn't even.
I think that Tampa Bay is playing a few more heavyweights
here he
than the
goes.
Atlanta Falcons are.
Here's for shits and giggles. We already covered the Saints, but we're gonna talk about it real quick. All right, so they're home for Arizona, home for San Francisco, at Seattle, at Buffalo, home for the Giants, home for the Patriots, at Chicago, home for the Bucks, at the Rams, at the Panthers, bye week. Home for Atlanta, at Miami, at Tampa, home for Carolina, home for the Jets, at Tennessee, at Atlanta. I'm sorry. Maybe 4 wins. 5 wins is their ceiling. So I
just don't understand how that team is so bad.
So you're sold on the Falcons at 2.
I've got the Falcons 11-6.
Like
Bucks,
I said earlier in
10-7.
in this podcast, and we put the question up. I think Bijan's going to have a good year, but I also think Algier is going to cut away into a lot of his touchdowns. I think Algier is going to get a lot of work inside the 20-yard line in the red zone.
I think Michael Penix has a good year.
I think Penix also has to show why he was the pick.
He's one of those quarterbacks you talk about in 2 QB leagues. He's one of those guys where, if you choose to go running back, if you choose to go wide receiver, you can still get a Michael Penix without having to really spend on like the way you would. I still think the
Falcons
Josh
are crazy paying Kirk Cousins this money to be a backup.
That I don't understand.
That's insane.
I don't understand what that is. I don't understand how they're going to get themselves out of that. I don't know why they got themselves
into that. I guess they're hoping someone gets hurt soon and someone has no choice but to
buy that. Like somebody
that's the only thing I can think
that off your hands. There's a lot of things.
I also don't think Kirk was healthy either. He's an older player coming off an Achilles. Like, I think this year Kirk was starting would probably have been Kirk Cousins.
I don't know. You look kind of shitty
out there. This is Michael Penix's job, and let's see what he does with it.
I don't think he loses it. If anything, I think he wins it by getting this team into
the playoffs. He
should.
There's a lot of fluff. If he can't manage that fluff, then we got a problem.
If you can't manage the fluff, then Tampa's winning this division again.
The worst thing that could happen to Michael Penix is getting hurt, Kirk Cousins coming in and playing in this fluff schedule and going off. Because then how do you go back?
You got pieces. You got weapons. It's all there. You
So,
know what you want to do.
I agree with you.
Football.
Fluff ain't that bad, Paul.
With Tampa, they're going to be a scrappy, competitive, dangerous team to have to deal with in the playoffs. 10-7. Bucky Irvin to the moon, and Buka, Mike Evans. Like that offense is going to be fun.
I think that defense is still going to be crazy good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder what they're going to look like on that side. But if they show signs that they can still do what they did last year, the Bucs are going to be fine. 10-7 is a good place for them. And, they could potentially end up being that 5 or 6 seed that comes to town. And just like, I'd love to see maybe Detroit and the Bucs get matched up one more time. And Tampa comes to Detroit with the Bake Show. They come to town and they make them sweat, bro.
Todd Bowles is the reason they lost that game.
I'd like to see that
a couple years ago for not taking that timeout and giving his team a chance.
I'd like to see Bucs Lions.
I think everybody's going to look at us and be like, I got the Bucs winning 11 games, going 11-6, winning the division. I know they got injuries right now at the wide receiver position, but you know what? They're deep at the wide receiver position.
They're good enough to do it.
Because we sat there and questioned them. Like last year, they picked McMillan. This year, they picked Ibuka. The problem, McMillan's going to be on IR. He's going to be out till like week 9. But they drafted Amike, so that's fine.
You got Tez Johnson.
Chris Godwin. We already knew Chris Godwin's probably not going to be back till like November, possibly.
Tez Johnson.
They got Tez Johnson.
That could potentially.
And guess who's still there playing great ball? The future Hall of Famer himself, Mike Evans.
Mike Evans is still there. Wide receiver 1.
Underrated tight end, Cade Otton.
Bucky Irving, bro.
Bucky Irving and Rashad White. Both very good running backs.
Potentially a top 5 running back, depending on who you talk to.
The offense is there. The offensive line is there. And Baker Mayfield has been amazing for the Bucs since he's joined them. He's thrown for over 70 touchdowns for them in the 2 seasons he's been with them.
No argument there. I see the path for the Bucs to go 11-6.
He won a playoff game.
Yep.
He beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
Tampa can win on the road.
Let's not forget that.
Tampa can win outside of Tampa.
He
which is
beat
why
the
it's,
Eagles, almost beat Detroit. He was 2 minutes away from getting to the NFC title game against the 49ers. Now, last year, they just fell victim to a very hot Washington Commanders team that got hot in December and ran roughshod on them, ran roughshod on the Lions, and then the rookie did what most rookies do when they finally get to that if they make it to the playoffs, the championship game. It happened. Listen, it happened to Russell Wilson his rookie season. Remember, Russ got there pretty close. It happened to Ben Roethlisberger his rookie season. When the Patriots chopped him down in his rookie year.
Too much, too fast.
It happened to Jaden Daniels. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It happens. However, like I said, that's why it's nothing to be ashamed of for the Bucs. You got beat by a team that was red freaking hot. Nothing like the fumbles that any fumbles or picks that got deflected just went in their favor. It's funny, just one of those things.
This is just regular season for me, but I feel like if it came down to, I think the Bucs can beat the Lions. I don't think Atlanta can beat the Lions in the playoffs. I think if the Bucs, I agree. I think the Bucs can go to Detroit.
We know what high on the Lions.
They can go to Detroit and serve up a hot L on those Lions.
I was looking at
that team
salary cap over the cap. You know, I'd be looking at that all the time, bro. The Detroit Lions, the next 2 years. Next year, they're going to have $31 million in cap space. The following year, they're going to have $25 million in cap space. Like, they have done these contracts right. So they're going to be a problem. The Bucs are doing their contracts right. Listen, they're already preparing for life without Mike Evans.
Yeah, it's coming.
You know what I mean? With the draft that they've done the past 2 seasons. I know McMillan's out for COVID, but we've seen what McMillan was capable of in the month when Godwin went down. McMillan became wide receiver 2. And a good wide receiver, too.
He caught that during our championship game. He
2 touchdowns.
He caught that second touchdown, and my heart just sank. I was like, yo, get this guy off the field.
Bro, I still couldn't believe Baker
made me right now.
I couldn't believe Baker was still playing. I'm like, I kept hoping. Who were they playing? They were playing somebody terrible.
I felt like the guy on stage.
I think they were playing the Saints.
I felt like the guy on stage in Scarface when he's watching the guy prance around and those guys came in with the machine guns. I'm the guy on stage when McMillan's scoring. I'm just taking everything.
Oh, he's like this.
Yeah, just still.
The machine gun bullets are just going through him, and he's just jiggling.
40 to 50 of them when he scored that touchdown. I perfectly know what McMillan is capable of. That is scarred in my mind.
So touchdowns they're set up for the future. Bucky Irvin's a young running back. Baker Mayfield. May I just remind everybody? Baker Mayfield came in the league in 2018 as a number 1 overall pick.
We are pro Tampa Bay.
Yeah, on this podcast. We understand how good this offense is and the defense is good. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucs were a Final Four team in the playoffs. If they made it to the NFC title game, I would not be shocked.
I think they can do that much, especially if they bounce the Lions. I'm sorry. This is the year. Like, the Lions got to show me something this year. What have they done?
I agree.
What have they done to get up? We don't give anybody passes
this year.
We don't give anybody passes.
We're done.
It don't matter.
You know why we give the Lions passes? Let's be real. They've been a perennial loser.
But you know what? You're a cool story.
Perennial loser.
You're a cool story. You just
That's why we passed them.
You just hosted your first playoff game in Detroit in a long time, and you got shellacked by a rookie. Don't care who was on the field. Don't care who was. Go out there and do it again. You guys want to be tough guys. You want to go for it on 4th down. You want to take the NFC. You got to get to the NFC Championship.
I agree. This has got to be the year.
You want to be in the conversation, you got to bulldoze your way into the conversation.
They're the only team on paper right now that can go blow for blow with Philly.
I think the Rams. I think the Rams could do it. If Stafford is
upright.
If Stafford's
healthy,
I think the Rams can do it.
There's only 2 teams in the NFC. You're right. Those are only 2 teams that could go toe-to-toe with Philly.
It's Detroit, Philly, LA, in whatever order you want to put them in.
It's Philly, Detroit, the Rams, or Philly, Rams, Detroit. That's how the order's got to go.
And Detroit.
Everybody else, and I know, nobody's won back-to-back East. Well, Shit happens all the time, and records are
Yeah,
meant
but
to
you
be
don't want to
broken.
say that Washington's going to win it, though. People, the same people that say, "Oh, the Eagles can't win it because back-to-back." Oh, but Washington can't win it because they're going to take a step back. So who's going to win it? Dallas. Dallas ain't winning it. The Giants ain't winning it. So it's either the Washington Commanders or the Philadelphia Eagles. It's the predictable answers, guys. Sometimes you just got to go with what makes sense. And those are the two teams that make sense because those are the two teams that literally just headlined the NFC Championship
for
game.
next week.
It's the NFC title game right there.
Next week is NFC East, AFC East.
Yeah.
The AFC East is easy to figure out.
I don't know if it's going to be Buffalo. Though. But then you have to fit everybody else in. That's the hard part, is how is everybody else going to fall under that with what's going on. I know you love your beloved Dolphins.
I know if number 10 is taking a leap from rookie year to this year, number 10 might be a problem. Drake may be a problem, boys.
I could see it. He's got a good connection going on with Stephon Diggs, so that's going to be fun to break down. That's going to be the last. We got NFC East, AFC East, and then the
playoffs.
Following week we have our
Thursday night game
predictions episode. In between that, we have all of our drafts. A couple of them coming up this weekend. Massive weekend. Speaking of drafts, speaking of fantasy,
our records were so close on this division.
Yeah,
we both thought
we see the same.
Very alike.
We see the same things. I mean, Panthers 8-9 isn't out of the realm of possibility because they're going to show that leap. The Saints are terrible, and
Saints
Bucks,
are worse.
Falcons.
Name me a team worse than the Saints right now. Besides, maybe Cleveland,
Seahawks, maybe Browns.
There you go.
Saints.
There's the two teams vying for the number 1 pick right there. When does anything change?
Saints Browns for the number 1 pick.
Yeah. When does anything change for them, bro?
The more things, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're still bad. But I know one thing, though. I'm a little nervous about some of the names that I put on this list with fantasy drafts coming up. And these are guys that I might still draft, knowing what I know with all the red flags.
The Malik Neighbors situations is getting weirder and weirder.
Now you're managing a back issue. You just got over a shoulder issue. And we already know about the toe issue that you've been managing a toe issue since college. Your toe, your shoulder, your back, your front office not being open about these things during, OTAs.
Well, they don't have to, too. Like, you don't have to start reporting actual injuries until the first game of the year.
Right, but we know with this organization.
Like, all I know about Calvin Austin is it's an abdomen.
Like, Malik Neighbors.
Ayo just got 2 free preseason tickets for the Giants game tomorrow. Nice.
Enjoy
it, bro.
I'm worried about the fact that Malik
Watch
Neighbors,
those young kids and just chill.
Malik Neighbors is sitting there at the back end of the first round, and he might fall to my lap. And it's like, what if I take him and he gets shut down in November? So that's one of those things that scares me. But I love the upside of this kid and the talent that this kid possesses and the fact that I think that he's going to eat in that offense. So the second name I have is Jonathan Taylor. Based on the reasons I mentioned earlier when we were breaking down the Colts. It's just because of where he is projected to be drafted, I'm looking at the options next to Jonathan Taylor and saying to myself, I'd rather draft this guy. I'd rather draft that guy, because I'm at the back end where that turn is. So Jonathan Taylor is probably going to be there. And I have to make that decision on the fly as far as, do I want to attach myself to what's potentially going to be outside of Warren, the heart and soul of this offense?
At Underdog on Twitter, a tradition like no other. Kyle Pitts' ADP skyrocketing after training camp. And in quotations, this is his year.
I'm not the only one, bro. I'm not the only one who's done it. People do it. They're doing it more than me now. You got Jay Jetta at number 3, based on what we know already for him. Scary Terry. Like, you're not practicing right now. You're not doing anything, as far as I know. Scary Terry's just hanging out, waiting to get paid. He's not. If he goes out onto the field, how long before Scary Terry takes a hit where it's like you're not ready or conditioned to take that type of punishment? And you're taking a big risk on drafting him. A lot of people are waiting on the information, knowing that's your wide receiver 1 when it comes to Jaden Daniels. Like, he can put up numbers when he's on the field, but for people who are who were afraid of Ayuk, some of those same fears can be attached to a Scary Terry that hasn't been on the field. He's just healthy. And then number 5, a name that just got added to the list, Devon Achane. Don't know when you're coming back. I know you're missing for a couple of weeks now. Murky running back situation. The team is looking at B-Rob as a potential fill-in until you get back.
So Washington, I just read right now, Washington isn't going no higher on $30 million a year for Terry.
It might be.
And it sounds like he wants more, but they don't want to go any higher than 30.
He wants more. He wants what? 34? What is he looking for? 34 million?
Likely.
Like, is that enough to satisfy you? 34 mil for a 30? Them saying they won't go any higher than that is basically them saying, like, take it.
49ers reportedly have interest in Kendrick Bourne. Oh, reunion.
They have interest in just having enough receivers to put on the field because all their guys are either hurt, suspended. So week 1 they play at 4. You've got Niners versus Seattle. It's going to be interesting come week 1 at 4:00 once we get through the 1 p.m. slate. Like, what is that wide receiver core going to look like for you guys up against your a big division game to kick off the year for them? I see George Kittle having himself a day potentially week 1. George Kittle could end up being tight end 1 after week 1 when everything is said and done. We just don't know. It's tough. Know that
I'm looking at other things.
We've navigated through 6 out of the 8 divisions. Tonight was part 3. We've had help along the way. Shout out to the boys for
guys were awesome. Sherm with some crazy hot takes.
Giving the perspectives on the West last week, getting the perspectives on the North, including the shouting match between the triple threat, the Jersey Triad. This week with the South, we tackled and got out of the way the 2 worst divisions on both sides. However, there's a lot of room for growth on both sides of this division. There's a lot of sleepers. There's a lot of ways that these divisions can go, because of the fact that we are pretty low on a lot of these teams. I'm starting to hear a lot of people sort of speaking highly of my Tennessee Titans. I don't know if that's a Cam Ward effect. I don't know if that's people truly believing that we're going to turn things around. I love the kid. I need a year to see it after everything that I've been through with this football team ever since the A.J. Brown trade. I need to see us actually going in the right direction before I start heaping too many wins on them. Until now, Houston takes the AFC South. NFC South, I think the Atlanta Falcons maybe shock everybody and look like the Atlanta Falcons team that on paper we project them to be sometimes year in, year out. They bite me on the ass this year. I'm out on them.
What about Kyle Pitts?
Kyle Pitts is someone who I will be – I'll take a stab at it, because I don't know. Yeah, I'll take a stab at it. It's not going to cost me a 3rd-round pick anymore like it did in the past. It's not gonna cost me as much. Once you get into that tier where you get the Mark Andrews and the Njoku's out of the way, and Loveland's not there anymore, and Warren's not there anymore, where are you gonna go? Like, if you are not willing to spend on a tight end, and then you miss out on the tier that has Hawkinson and Loveland and Laporta, you miss out on all those guys. There's only so many places you can go before Kyle Pitts is just staring at you on the board, bro. Like, you can go ahead and take your chances with others. Yeah, there's a shot that Chigokongwo outperforms Kyle Pitts, but are you going to draft Chigokongwo over Kyle Pitts? Would you at this point? I don't know. I don't know if I would. I'm a Titans fan. I love Chig. I'm just saying, 8th, 9th round, he's still sitting there. You have no tight end. And a guy that could potentially be a top 10 tight end, which, it's not hard to do that. But if he can put up another 1,000 yards.
You could probably get Kyle Pitts in like the 15th round, maybe.
I don't think 15th round. He ain't going that low. Someone's going to take him. Someone's going to take him. We got to think about the people that we draft with. If I take him, that means I already have another tight end. Because that's just how I draft. If I take Kyle Pitts, I'm not taking him as my tight end 1. I'm taking him. And I'm looking to have him in that 2nd flex spot.
Did you pick him in our newest dynasty?
What?
And trade him away, or does somebody else have him?
I sent him to Alexi when I got Bowers. In the Bowers deal, I sent him to Alex.
So you did draft him?
Yeah, I did. I did draft him. I drafted Pitts. I did it. It was me. I drafted him. I traded him. I got something better, and I didn't look back. But he's not on my fade list. I'll tell you that. Like he's not somebody that I'm gonna be like, there's no way I'm gonna do it.
Yo, who needs enemies when you got brothers? Shit.
And that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to the NFC AFC East next week.
Next week's gonna be fun.
Next week,
all you NFC East
the
cats,
final piece. We
whoever's ready to be
live. We got to get
who's ever ready to
live.
go on the split screen. You let us know.
Birds fans, jump in. Giants fans, Cowboys
Noli,
fans.
do me a favor.
Let's have all of you in there together. Let's mix it all up.
Make sure Mikey has something local.
Let's mix it all up. We're going to get crazy with that one. It's part 4 of our 5-part installment with our August divisional breakdowns, which culminates in the following week's playoffs, predictions, Super Bowl pick. And after that, the premiere of On the Money Picks is back. 5 picks each and every week from us and Mike D.
Yeah, I'll be doing it every Wednesday. I'm not going to be waiting until Sunday to do it.
Because
Sunday we got something else cooking for you.
We got something else cooking on Sunday, so we ain't going to have time for that on Sunday because there's something else coming your way. But the On the Money Picks are going to be going down on the podcast each and every single week. I don't have much to talk about, my birds. You know what it is. And if not, you are a hater. But we're going to be talking about them birds. We're also going to be talking about them boys, them G-men, the Commanders. And we'll be talking about the Dolphins, Jets, Bills, and the Patriots as well. We're covering it all, breaking it all down, what we like, what we don't like, division champions.
All the local teams.
And all the news and updates because, remember, we are approaching chop season. Players are about to be cut. Players are about to earn their spots on the roster. And in some cases, sadly, premier names landing on the IR because it's time to show those cards.
Steelers, go get Dobbs.
Steelers, go get Romeo Dobbs. Packers are making him available.
6th-round pick. They're going to cut him. So take the 6.
I'm looking forward to next week. Looking forward to the pod. Everybody out there, take it easy. Love you guys out there. Appreciate the interaction, and we're looking for more of it. Next week, we got to get this thing filled. I want at least 4 or 5 people on there so we can talk. Rep your squad. This is it. We're running out of time. Draft season's upon us. Next week, we will have drafted teams. We will be looking at lineups and rosters, looking at our Dynasty of Arms draft, how it went. Dynasty of Arms League will be in the chat, breaking everything down and much, much more. Everything that we have time for. If we need to go extended, so be it. But that's all we got for tonight.
We run this. Until then, see you guys next week. Have a good